In the rugged expanse of the Old West, where divisions between settlers and native tribes ran deep and tensions simmered beneath every encounter, there lived a stable boy whose life was far from easy. Covered in dirt and sweat from dawn till dusk, he was often overlooked, a lowly figure tending to horses, yet harboring a heart braver than most who rode the plains. One day, fate placed him at the center of a moment that would change everything, defending an Indian baby, innocent and vulnerable, from harm that threatened to rip apart fragile peace. The boy's actions were not born from duty or desire for recognition, but from a simple, fierce instinct to protect what was pure and helpless. In a world shaped by suspicion and hostility, this act of courage stood like a beacon, shining a light on the possibility of kindness in places ruled by conflict. It was a moment when lines drawn in blood and history blurred, replaced by the universal bond of humanity and the urgent need to safeguard the innocent. News of the boy's defense of the child reached the ears of the tribe's chief, a man wise beyond years and steeped in the traditions of his people. Instead of retaliation or suspicion, the chief responded with honor, bestowing upon the stable boy a golden feather, a symbol of respect, bravery, and the sacred trust between his tribe and those who dared to stand for what was right. This gift was more than a token. It was a bridge between worlds, a promise of peace forged in the fires of courage. The golden feather carried with it stories untold, whispers of a young man's bravery, and a chief's recognition that transcended the divisions of the time. It was a symbol that challenged the hardened hearts of a world that too often chose conflict over compassion. Through this extraordinary gesture, the boy and the chief showed that even in the harshest landscapes, honor and kindness could rewrite the tales written in dust and blood. Stay with us as we delve into the powerful journey of the dirty stable boy and the Indian baby he defended, a story of bravery, trust, and the golden feather that became a lasting emblem of hope in the wild, Wild West. The stable boy's days were marked by grime and hard labor, his hands calloused from tending to horses and cleaning stalls in the sprawling ranch that defined the frontier's edge. Though his clothes were often tattered and his face smeared with dirt, his spirit remained unbroken, shaped by a fierce determination that few around him recognized. He was a boy of few words, overshadowed by the rugged cowboys and powerful landowners. Yet beneath the dirt and shadows, there burned a heart courageous enough to face dangers that would make others falter. One fateful morning, as the dawn's first light crept over the horizon, the boy stumbled upon a scene that would forever alter his life. An Indian baby, abandoned and vulnerable, lay crying amidst the dusty landscape, surrounded by dangers both seen and unseen. The child's innocence struck a chord deep within the boy's soul, a silent call to protect, no matter the cost. In a world defined by harsh boundaries and deep-seated mistrust, the boy chose to stand as a shield against the cruelty that threatened the fragile life before him. Word of the boy's brave defense traveled quickly, stirring a mix of admiration and disbelief among those who knew him only as a lowly stable hand. Yet, his actions spoke louder than any reputation or social standing could. He did not seek glory, only to protect the helpless, a simple act that resonated with a profound courage born of empathy and conviction. The frontier, a place where survival often demanded harshness, had witnessed a rare moment of selfless bravery that transcended divisions. The Indian tribe, upon learning of the boy's deed, viewed it as more than mere kindness. It was a testament to the possibility of peace and respect between worlds too often torn apart by conflict. The chief, a man revered for wisdom and strength, saw in the stable boy a reflection of values his people cherished: honor, protection, and bravery. The decision to bestow upon the boy a golden feather was a gesture heavy with meaning, signaling trust and the hope for unity amid turbulent times. As the golden feather was placed in the boy's hands, the weight of its symbolism settled over him, a tangible connection to a culture and people he had only just begun to understand. This moment marked not just a personal honor, but a bridge between two worlds, a promise that courage and kindness could transcend the harsh lines drawn by history and conflict. Their story was just beginning, woven with challenges and the hope of forging a new path forward. The golden feather became a silent companion to the stable boy, tucked carefully away, but never forgotten. It was a reminder of the trust he had earned and the responsibility that now rested on his shoulders. Life on the ranch continued, but the boy's world had expanded beyond the stables and dusty trails. His connection to the tribe grew, opening doors to new understanding and unlikely friendships that defied the prejudices ingrained by years of conflict. The chief's gift carried with it more than honor. It was a call to action. The boy realized that defending the Indian baby had been only the beginning of a greater journey. He was now a symbol of potential harmony, a living testament to the possibility of coexistence in a land too often marred by division. This realization weighed heavily upon him, but instead of retreating into silence, he embraced the challenge, determined to live up to the promise the golden feather represented. Among the settlers and ranch hands, reactions were mixed. Some admired the boy's courage and the chief's gesture, seeing it as a beacon of hope in troubled times. Others whispered warnings, fearful that such alliances could disrupt the fragile peace and upset the established order. The boy faced suspicion and skepticism, but his conviction remained unshaken. In his heart, he knew that true bravery meant standing firm in the face of doubt and prejudice. The tribe, too, watched with cautious optimism. The chief's decision to honor the boy was not taken lightly, and many wondered if this young outsider could truly embody the values and respect that the feather symbolized. But the boy's actions, grounded in genuine care and respect, slowly earned their trust. Bonds were forged not through words alone, but through deeds that spoke louder, sharing knowledge, protecting one another, and embracing the hard road toward mutual respect. Together, the boy and the tribe faced the uncertainties of a land divided by history, but connected by shared humanity. The golden feather was more than a gift. It was a beacon lighting a path forward, inviting both settler and native to envision a future where courage and compassion bridged divides that once seemed unbreakable. Their journey was a testament to the enduring power of honor and the hope that even the smallest acts could ripple through time. The days that followed were filled with quiet lessons and hard-won trust. The stable boy, once confined to the shadows of the ranch, found himself drawn into the rhythms of the tribe's life, learning their language, customs, and the deep respect they held for the land and its creatures. His connection to the Indian baby, now a symbol of hope and new beginnings, grew stronger as he took on the role of protector and friend. Each moment spent with the tribe chipped away at the walls built by years of suspicion, replacing fear with understanding. Meanwhile, the ranch's other inhabitants watched with a mixture of skepticism and curiosity. The boy's bond with the tribe challenged their preconceived notions, forcing them to confront the rigid boundaries they had long accepted. Whispers filled the dusty air. Some spoke of betrayal, others of bravery. The boy's actions became a mirror reflecting the best and worst of their own hearts. His unwavering dedication to the baby and the tribe slowly softened some, while hardening others who clung to old fears. The chief's golden feather remained a powerful symbol, not just of honor, but of responsibility. The boy wore it with quiet pride, aware that it represented a fragile bridge between worlds on the brink of collision. The feather reminded him daily that his journey was about more than survival. It was about paving a path toward peace, a road filled with obstacles and sacrifice. Yet, despite the challenges, he felt a growing sense of purpose, a belief that change was possible even in the harshest of lands. The tribe and the ranch boy began to share stories by campfires and beneath starlit skies, weaving a tapestry of shared history and dreams. Through these exchanges, old wounds began to heal, and a new narrative took shape, one that honored both the past and the possibility of a united future. The golden feather, glinting softly in the firelight, was a constant reminder of the courage it took to cross divides and the strength found in unlikely friendships. As tensions simmered on the horizon, both within the town and beyond, the boy and the tribe braced themselves. They understood that their fragile alliance would be tested by forces resistant to change. Yet, fortified by trust and the promise symbolized by the golden feather, they stood ready to face whatever storms lay ahead, determined to protect the hope they had ignited together. Conflict, as it often does in the Old West, was never far away. Word of the stable boy's alliance with the tribe and the chief's gift stirred unrest among the town's more hardline residents. Some viewed the boy's honor as a dangerous breach of loyalty, a betrayal of their way of life. Murmurs turned to open hostility as old prejudices resurfaced, threatening to unravel the fragile peace the boy and the tribe had worked so hard to build. The air grew thick with tension, a powder keg waiting for spark. Despite the growing danger, the boy refused to back down. He knew that his actions were more than personal. They were a statement of belief in a better way. His bond with the tribe and the Indian baby was a testament to a shared humanity that transcended bloodlines and history. The golden feather he carried was not just a token of past bravery, but a symbol of a future he was determined to fight for. His courage inspired some townsfolk to question their own fears and prejudices, planting seeds of doubt that could one day bloom into understanding. The chief stood firmly beside the boy, offering wisdom and support. His presence was a powerful reminder that honor and respect could unite even the most unlikely allies. Together, they prepared for the inevitable clashes, knowing that their greatest battles were not only fought with weapons, but with hearts and minds. Their alliance became a beacon of hope for those caught between two worlds, a promise that peace was possible despite the odds. In the face of rising threats, the boy and the tribe's resilience deepened. They shared strategies for defense and survival, teaching each other the strengths of their respective worlds. Their unity sent a powerful message that courage and compassion could break the chains of hatred and build bridges over centuries-old divides. The golden feather, shining brightly, was a symbol of that unbreakable bond. As dusk fell over the rugged landscape, the boy looked toward the horizon with determination. He carried not only the weight of the feather, but the hopes of two worlds yearning for peace. Their story was far from over. It was a living, breathing journey of bravery, trust, and the enduring power of compassion in the wild, Wild West. In the days that followed, the boy's role within both worlds grew ever more complex. He was no longer just the dirty stable hand, but a bridge between two cultures, carrying the hopes and fears of both the settlers and the tribe. Each step he took was weighed with the responsibility of maintaining a fragile peace that many believed impossible. The golden feather, once a simple gift, now symbolized a burden as much as an honor, a constant reminder of the trust placed in him by the chief and the promise he made to protect the innocent baby. The tribe embraced the boy with cautious hope, sharing their stories, wisdom, and traditions, opening doors to a world he had only glimpsed from afar. In turn, the boy taught them about the settlers' ways, their fears and dreams, seeking to foster understanding where once there was only suspicion. Their exchanges were often difficult, filled with moments of doubt and frustration, but through perseverance, they built a foundation of mutual respect. It was a slow process, yet every shared meal and quiet conversation was a step toward healing ancient wounds. Yet, the outside world was unforgiving. Many settlers viewed the boy's growing influence with suspicion and fear, seeing his alliance with the tribe as a threat to their way of life. Rumors and threats circulated, challenging the fragile trust he had worked so hard to build. The boy faced these challenges with a quiet resolve, refusing to let fear dictate his path. Instead, he drew strength from the golden feather, a symbol of courage and unity, and the knowledge that protecting the child was protecting a future where peace might one day flourish. The child, too, grew strong under the watchful eyes of both the boy and the tribe. Innocent and unaware of the burdens carried by those around them, the baby became a living emblem of hope, a reminder of the new possibilities forged from acts of kindness and bravery. Each smile, each step the child took, was a testament to the power of compassion in a world so often ruled by fear and violence. As the seasons changed and the landscape shifted from scorching summers to biting winters, the boy and the tribe prepared for the trials ahead. They knew the road was perilous, filled with dangers from those unwilling to accept change. But bound by honor and the promise symbolized by the golden feather, they stood ready to face whatever storms might come, united in purpose and spirit. The tension that had simmered beneath the surface finally erupted one cold evening when a group of settlers confronted the boy and the tribe. Fueled by fear and old grudges, they saw the alliance as a betrayal, a threat to the fragile order they sought to preserve. The confrontation was heated, voices rising in anger and accusation, but the boy stood firm, his golden feather catching the firelight as a symbol of the courage and trust he bore. The chief, standing beside him, spoke with the calm authority of a leader who had weathered many storms. He reminded the settlers of the bonds forged through shared struggles and the promise of peace that the alliance represented. Though not all were swayed, some began to question the path of division they had followed for so long. The boy's steadfastness and the chief's wisdom planted seeds of doubt, opening cracks in the walls built by fear and hatred. Despite the hostility, moments of unity and understanding began to emerge. The tribe and the settlers found common ground in their shared humanity and the desire for a safer future. The boy's role as mediator became ever more vital, guiding conversations and fostering respect where suspicion had once ruled. The golden feather became a beacon, a reminder that honor and bravery could bridge even the deepest divides. Yet the path to lasting peace remained fraught with danger. The boy and the tribe understood that their struggle was ongoing, requiring vigilance and courage. But they also knew that every step forward was a victory, not just for themselves, but for the generations yet to come. Their story was a living testament to the power of compassion and the strength found in standing together against adversity. As night enveloped the frontier and stars shimmered overhead, the boy gazed toward the future with hope. He carried the legacy of the golden feather and the promise it symbolized, a future where courage, kindness, and trust could rewrite the history of the Wild West. As the seasons shifted, so too did the winds of change sweep through the frontier town. The boy, once just a dirt-covered stable hand, had become a symbol of courage and unity, a living testament to the possibility of harmony between worlds long divided. His actions and the golden feather bestowed by the chief sparked a quiet revolution among settlers and natives alike, inspiring many to reconsider old grudges and long-held fears. It was not just a change in perception, but a movement toward understanding, fueled by the brave acts of one young man who dared to stand for what was right. The tribe and the settlers began to share more than wary glances. They exchanged stories, traditions, and hopes for a future where their children could grow up free from the scars of past conflicts. The boy became a bridge, walking between two worlds with respect and humility, teaching others that strength lies not in dominance, but in empathy. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to build connections that had once seemed impossible. The golden feather, now a cherished symbol, shone brightly as a beacon of peace and mutual respect. However, the path was not without obstacles. Old prejudices and fears lingered in the shadows, threatening to unravel the delicate progress made. Some settlers resisted, unwilling to embrace change or accept the tribe's place alongside them. Whispered threats and acts of defiance reminded the boy and his allies that their journey toward unity was still fragile. But these challenges only deepened their resolve. They understood that true peace requires patience, courage, and unwavering commitment to the greater good. In the quiet moments, beneath the vast canvas of stars that stretched across the frontier sky, the boy reflected on the transformation he had witnessed, not just in others, but within himself. The golden feather was a constant reminder of the promise he carried, the hope that even the most broken communities could heal. His journey from a dirty stable boy to a respected figure taught him that bravery comes in many forms, and sometimes the greatest courage is found in choosing kindness over fear. As the frontier settled into a tentative calm, the boy and the tribe prepared for the future, ready to face whatever trials might come with hearts strengthened by trust and the enduring power of compassion. Their story was no longer just their own. It was a beacon lighting the way for others who dreamed of peace in a wild, unpredictable land. The boy's influence reached far beyond the town's dusty streets and the tribe's sacred grounds. Stories of his bravery and the golden feather spread like wildfire across the frontier, carried by traders, travelers, and settlers who longed for hope in a world often marked by hardship. His journey became a legend, a testament to the transformative power of empathy, courage, and the willingness to cross divides that once seemed insurmountable. It was a narrative that inspired countless others to seek understanding where once there was only conflict. In neighboring settlements, whispers of change stirred hearts long hardened by loss and fear. The boy's story challenged communities to question their own prejudices and to imagine a future where coexistence was not just possible, but essential. It was a call to action, urging people to look beyond old wounds and to embrace the shared humanity that binds us all. The golden feather became a symbol not only of personal honor, but of a movement toward reconciliation and hope. Back in the town, the transformation continued slowly but surely. Children of both settlers and natives played together, learning to bridge cultures as their parents did. Markets and meetings began to reflect a new spirit of cooperation, and the once rigid boundaries softened. The boy's role as a mediator and protector was more vital than ever, guiding these fragile relationships with wisdom and compassion. His journey was a living testament to the idea that peace is built one courageous step at a time. Yet, the challenges remained real. The legacy of mistrust and pain could not be erased overnight, and moments of tension tested the fragile bonds. But the boy and his allies faced each trial with unyielding determination, knowing that every act of kindness and every gesture of goodwill was a victory against the forces of division. Their resilience was a beacon of hope in a land that had long known struggle. As twilight descended on the vast western horizon, the boy stood tall, the golden feather gleaming against the fading light. He carried not just a symbol of honor, but the hopes of two worlds entwined, a promise that even in the wildest frontiers, courage, compassion, and unity could rewrite the story of the Old West. The journey of the dirty stable boy and the Indian baby he defended had transformed from a single act of bravery into a powerful movement that echoed across the frontier. What began as a desperate defense blossomed into a shared vision of peace, respect, and mutual understanding. The boy, once overlooked and underestimated, had become a symbol of hope, proof that even the most unlikely heroes could change the course of history. His life intertwined with the tribe's legacy, he carried the golden feather as a badge of honor, a reminder that courage coupled with compassion can break down walls built over generations. Despite the progress made, the path remained treacherous. The frontier was a place where old resentments simmered beneath the surface, ready to erupt when least expected. The boy and the tribe faced constant reminders of the past's weight, glances filled with suspicion, whispered threats under the moonlight, and challenges that tested their resolve. But through every hardship, their unity deepened, and their purpose sharpened. They knew the road to lasting peace was long and fraught with peril, but their shared determination never faltered. The golden feather, a small yet potent symbol, came to represent far more than an individual's bravery. It embodied the potential for reconciliation between worlds. It inspired not only the boy and his tribe, but also settlers who longed to break free from the cycles of fear and violence. Tales of the boy's courage spread through campfires and trading posts, inspiring others to see beyond old divisions and to embrace a future built on trust and shared humanity. In quiet moments beneath the endless western sky, the boy reflected on the journey, the battles fought, the friendships forged, and the legacy they were creating. He understood that true courage was not just in heroic acts, but in the everyday choices to act with kindness and stand against injustice. His story was a living testament to the idea that even in the wildest, most unforgiving places, the human spirit's capacity for love and change remains unbreakable. As dawn broke over the vast plains, the boy stood ready, his heart heavy with responsibility but buoyed by hope. He carried the promise of the golden feather forward, a beacon to light the way for future generations seeking peace and unity in the untamed West. Looking back on the boy's journey, it becomes clear that his defense of the Indian baby was more than a single act of courage. It was the seed of a profound transformation. The golden feather gifted by the chief symbolized honor, trust, and the possibility of a new era where bridges replace barriers. Their story challenges us to believe in the power of compassion to overcome fear, prejudice, and division, reminding us that every one of us has the ability to spark change through kindness. This legacy invites us to reflect on our own lives. How often do we overlook the opportunities to protect and stand for the vulnerable? How can we, like the boy, choose bravery in the face of fear and offer shelter where it is most needed? Their story is a call to action, to embrace empathy, to build understanding, and to be the light that guides others out of darkness. It teaches us that true strength is found not in dominance, but in the courage to protect and the will to unite. In a world still divided by conflict and misunderstanding, the tale of the stable boy and the golden feather serves as a timeless beacon of hope. It reminds us that peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice, respect, and love. Their journey, etched in dust and spirit, continues to inspire all who dare to dream of a better tomorrow. As stars shimmer over the endless horizon, their story lives on, a testament to the enduring power of courage, compassion, and the unbreakable bonds forged in the heart of the Old West. It is a legacy that calls us to carry forward their courage, their kindness, and their hope. Because sometimes, the smallest acts of bravery can change the course of history and light the way for generations to come. The story of the dirty stable boy who defended an Indian baby and was honored with a golden feather is far more than a tale from the dusty trails of the Old West. It is a timeless reminder that courage and kindness can bridge even the deepest divides, that one brave act can ripple through history and inspire change where it seems impossible. Throughout this journey, we have seen how humanity shines brightest when compassion overcomes fear, and how true honor is earned not by blood or title, but by the willingness to stand for what is right. As we reflect on their story, we realize that the smallest gestures, protecting the innocent, embracing the unfamiliar, can have the greatest impact. The golden feather was more than an award. It was a symbol of trust and hope, a beacon signaling the possibility of unity in a world fractured by suspicion and conflict. Their legacy challenges us to examine our own lives and to ask how we might be the ones who offer courage, protection, and understanding to those who need it most. In today's world, much like the frontier of old, fear and division still threaten to pull us apart. Yet, this story calls us to choose differently, to be courageous enough to cross boundaries, to listen to voices unlike our own, and to extend kindness even when it is hard. Your reflections and stories matter deeply. Share them in the comments below, and let's create a space where empathy grows. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can continue sharing tales that inspire and unite. Together, we carry forward the spirit of the stable boy and the tribe, the spirit that reminds us all that no matter how wild or unforgiving the world may seem, compassion and courage can change the course of history. Let us be the light in the darkness, the warmth in the cold, and the hope for those who feel lost. Because sometimes, the greatest revolutions start with the simplest acts of bravery and the boldest choices of the heart.